Hello and welcome everyone back to the Modcast. I am your host Reb, back with another episode of the Modcast. It's been a good couple of weeks since we had our last episode, and it's about time that we get our newest one of the installment going. We got a very special guest here, and but before we get into introducing him, I actually want to talk about a couple things before we start. First of all, I did see a couple of you guys on the Discord and in the comments talking about how you guys didn't want me to change the logo and the background of the modcast. So I might poll it, or I might see what you guys the general feedback is before I actually start working on something. But if you guys do want me to keep this logo on for the modcast, then I'll keep it on and I'll just make a couple edits to it. But overall, I saw some of you guys, or majority of you guys, saying to keep it how it is. It kind of has that original feel to it. It's kind of how it started. So if you guys want me to keep it as it is, then I'll try my best to just make some small adjustments to it because it is a little too simple for my liking. So I want to make a couple adjustments to it, and I do also want to, last time I did say I was gonna make like some like small adjustments and like animations and stuff. I want to try to make that happen as best as I can, and we'll go from there. I'll see what happens. We'll see what, depending on whatever you guys say, whatever you guys comment, whatever you guys say on the Discord, then we'll go off of that. But without further ado, I would like to welcome our special guest today, and it's the very first Twitch mod on the Modcast. I would love everyone to give a warm welcome to Str1ker.
Yo, what's up, guys?
So, so
Welcome, welcome.
Str1ker, like I said, is our first Twitch mod on the Modcast. And he's actually one of our higher recommended ones, I think, after Soj. So he's someone you guys have all been waiting for. So we finally got him on here. We finally got some time from him to just sit down and talk, which is awesome. Yeah, how are you doing, my man? How we doing?
I'm doing good. I've been chilling. School just started for me, so it's definitely kicking into gear here.
True. You're in college now, right?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, my little brother, he's a senior. I know he just had exams last Friday. I'm sure you're getting to that point too. Lot to keep up with.
for sure.
So, I guess like we'll start off a little bit. You're in college. A little bit more about yourself. Like you can tell us as much as you want. I
Mhm.
think you're West Coast with us. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. I think you live in California. Is that right? What are
yeah.
you up to? Tell us a little bit about yourself, like that.
Yeah. Well, I go to UCSB actually, so it's a lovely school. We're on the beach, so it's nice, nice. And I also just started surfing, which is pretty lit.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to try surfing.
yeah, that sounds cool.
Is it like kind of like skateboarding, or is it like completely different?
Yeah, it's more like skateboarding than anything else, in my
Nice.
opinion.
That's cool. That's cool. What are you studying?
I'm a earth science major right now, so literally just like geology. I'm not really in any classes for my major though right now. A lot
Yeah.
of chemistry though. A lot of chemistry.
I my not the other my first brother, but my other brother
Mhm.
really enjoys chemistry, but I never could get into it. It was always too much for me. But I have three brothers. My third brother actually got his degree in geology too. So similar kind
Oh,
of fields. It's pretty cool.
nice,
Yeah. Are you liking
nice.
it? I mean, I know you're not in your major courses yet, but how you liking college so far? Because I don't think the last time we interacted was a while ago, really.
It
So
was a while ago.
yeah.
I really like college. I mean, it's nice. Um, my college is also like some of the rankings were like the number one party school, so that's really fun too. Um,
Nice.
yeah, it's also why I couldn't do this later tonight.
Bro's
Yeah,
got
Understandable, understandable.
a
got the
an agenda full of
priorities
parties, bro.
Yeah,
straight.
yeah.
I feel ya.
Let's fucking
That's
go.
cool.
That's awesome. But you know, I think the last time, I mean, you've kind of gone like MIA since like I think it's been like well over a year since like we've last
Yeah.
chatted. If not, I mean, I know we've chatted like here and there, but not like actually sat down and like played games since it's
hmm
been a while. So I know the last time we talked, you were in high school. So how was like the big transition from high school to college?
It was crazy. I mean, it was really nice. Definitely like those first like the first week on campus, like the freedom's crazy. Um, and then like school actually started, kicking my ass. But
Hmm.
it's really fun, and I love I love being able to just go to college outside of my hometown.
I feel that.
Yeah. So are you staying at campus or are you like?
I'm in IV, which is the neighborhood like right outside of campus. It's like just like a one like almost 2 square miles of just straight like college students. So it's a big college town.
I feel that. I went to Texas A&M actually, which is a
Ooh.
huge college that it's just a college town as well. Everywhere you went, there were students.
Hmm.
So it's kind of fun, and it's really eerily peaceful in the summer because everyone goes home. I don't know if that's the same for you,
Yeah,
but
I wasn't here during the summer, but that's what I hear.
yeah, you're one of the ones that went home.
Yeah.
No, I did that too until I had a job, and I just stuck over the summer.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. So
So let's see. Or go ahead, Reb.
sorry, sorry. I just wanted to get my bit in. Um, so like when it comes to like what you're studying and what you're going for, is that like something you want to pursue in the future, or do you have like kind of like a different type of goal and or
Uh,
something in mind, or do you want to just like follow this route you're in?
as of right now, I do want to follow something in earth science. I'm thinking like we have an emphasis here, and I think mine's gonna be geohydrology. So just working with like how water and the land and how they affect each other and whatnot. Yeah, I just don't want to work behind a desk. That was kind of what I just wanted to do. So as long as I'm out there, and like my backup plan's always been a firefighter. So if this doesn't work
Ooh,
out, then yeah,
that's fucking dope, actually.
yes sir.
That's pretty sick. I feel that. I'm a computer programmer, so I live behind a desk. I'm a computer programmer and a Discord moderator. I don't touch the grass so much. I don't see the sun so much. But I think that's especially like I said, as someone who has already gone through college and now has that desk job,
Yeah,
really cool. I would love to have a job that got me outside a little bit more. I work remote, so I don't even like commute. I
dude,
don't
that
even go
that is
outside.
that's nice though. Just working like remote, just being able to work in the
Yeah.
ease of your house.
It is nice, I don't have to get up at 6:37 to get ready and then drive and sit in traffic, right? Like a lot of people do. Like I just roll out of bed. I got a meeting at 9. I roll out of bed at like 8:45, 8:55. Turn on my computer, sit down. And then as soon as 5 o'clock hits, maybe a little earlier some days, I just turn off and I'm good to go. I can hop out the house wherever I want to go. I live pretty
Mhm.
close to downtown Bellevue, so if you know the Seattle general area, I'm pretty close to the town, so I can go out there,
Nice.
whatever, or hop online, hang out, play some games with friends, whatever
Mhm.
it ends up being. So definitely working remote is pretty nice.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like for you and your school, COVID started, and then I think trying to remember the timeline. It was after all the COVID stuff when I kind of came around and joined in. Um, but did when you went to college, and I guess even in high school too, whatever, like did you have that kind of like COVID influence on your like first couple years of school, or was that already pretty much over by the time you started up?
Yeah, it was over by the time I started college, but it hit at the I think yeah, the end of my sophomore year in high school actually. And that kind of like just stopped everything. Like I grew up playing baseball, so like it stopped that too, and like I was inside all the time, so I did not like that. Hence why I want like a job, just not behind a
Yeah.
desk. Yeah, but I mean it helped me out a lot though. Started like I got into lifting and like working out, and I also that's what got me like more into Rocket League, I guess. Like I've always kind of been into Rocket League, but I never grinded the game like I did when COVID happened.
Yeah, because I met you. I think you were already SSL, but I guess tell us a little bit. It's one of our talking points. When did you first get into Rocket League, and like, how did you manage to go from just a normal player to playing enough and making your way up through the ranks like everyone was always trying to do?
Yeah. Well, I got into it I think 2017, and it wasn't like me and one of my best friends. Um we'll call him like Gingy because that's what he went by, and I know Reb knows him, but we we played like Minecraft and H1Z1 if you know that game.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to like grind those games, mainly H1. Like we would play all day, and then he was getting into Rocket League, and he got me to play with him, and I was like, damn, this game is fun. Like, and he was better than me, and then I started playing more than him. Then we got to the same skill level, and
About what rank was that at the time when you guys evened
uh,
out?
probably like plat 2, honestly, I want to say.
Nice. Still
Yeah.
pretty early in.
Uh-huh. Um, and that's kind of when the prod tourneys happened, and those were really fun. Um,
Right.
but
So
yeah,
by that point you already knew Reb and everyone else.
yeah, that's when I met everybody. Um, in a little league. It was fun. It's like top moments of Rocket League in my opinion. Still to this day, it's like
Wow.
the most fun I had.
So how did you learn about that league and the Lost League and what was your introduction to it?
Yeah. I don't know if it was me or my teammate who like saw his stream or whatever. It was honestly probably my teammate because I wasn't really on Twitch like that. But we just saw his stream and we saw that like we could win money, and we were like, dude, let's do this.
Nice.
So that's what we did, um and I wasn't really expecting like a community or anything out of it, but like that just like ended up being like the place to go, and just like met so many amazing people from it.
That's so cool, man. I mean, I found my way into the community. I'm sure remember roughly around the time when I showed up, but I was looking more for a community. I'd been grinding the game and kind of outpaced a lot of my friends. And came here to try and find more people that played the game that I could, play with, get better with, chat about the game with, all that. My friends played Rocket League, and we all got started together and we played a lot. But I guess I just liked the game so much more than the rest of them. I continued to play it, and eventually I ranked them
Yeah.
and was looking for new teammates. But after I've gotten to talk to everybody here and meet the mods and all that, it's really kind of got me like not nostalgic, but it's like a weird like it's not the fear of missing out, but it's like the feeling you get when you did miss out, right? Because everyone talks about, oh yeah, Lost Prodigy, the Lost League, the tournaments you guys would always do, and everybody here that's on the mod team, I think was a part of that. Almost everybody, except for some people, but the majority, and especially the most prominent, long-standing members, were all there. So it sounds like it was such a good time and really fun that everyone still hangs out from it. However long ago it was. I think I've been in the server for quite a while now, and that was already in the past when I joined. So it
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
sounds like
kind of just
a good time.
brought everybody together.
yeah, for sure. And sorry for all the listeners. I had to take a step back for something. My assistance was needed elsewhere, but we're back. But yeah, listening to what you guys were saying. I mean, for example, I mean, we have like you're talking about the Lost League, and I'm pretty sure we talked about this now. I mean, this is some we talked about this I think with the more in depth with the podcast with Orange, but um we when did this happen? I think this was like a 2017 thing or a 2018 thing. Striker, I think it was. With everything with prod.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, it was just the whole thing. I think it was like almost every week. I no, it was like it was a once a month type thing, and it was in the weekends, and you know, when it wasn't the league, of course, we had our league, and we did it multiple times, throughout the
Mhm.
span of like 2 or 3 years. I think it fully finished. I think in around 2019 or 2020 when Prod decided he wanted to take a step back and do his own type of thing, um, and just game for fun instead of just hosting tournaments. But it was something that we all enjoyed doing, and like you said, a lot of the long-standing members really did stem from there. It was kind of just that was the start of pretty much all of this. That's kind of where Wayton just decided to really start his YouTube journey from. It kind of started from there, and I want to dig more in depth when we get to that episode, of course. But that's kind of where he started all his stuff, and I mean, you can still find some of his old like edits from back in those days, they're still up on YouTube. So
Yeah, those montages.
yeah, classic, brother, classics. And I mean, I remember back then we all looked at them and we thought those were like awesome. Those are like those are
Yeah.
sick. But you look at the stuff he makes now, and it's just way different. And he's just he's improved since those times, and it's cool to see how someone you knew um back then who just had this dream of like making it big made that dream a reality, and now we're just looking at it like he actually made it. Like he made it happen, which is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of curious. There's I want to hear a little bit about each other's first experiences with one another. Like I'll go first. Kind of how each of us individually met. Whether it doesn't have to be maybe it was different. Like when Str1ker started to notice who I was, might have been a different time than when I noticed him, etc. Whatever. But I think that'd be a cool way to kind of bring together some of the history and timelines here. I know you, Reb, and you and Str1ker, you guys, of course, go way back, but I'll start first and say, first of all, for the viewers, how I kind of met you for the first time. I don't know if you remember this, but I was just looking for someone to play with, just to hang out, and I think I was playing threes ranked solo queue, and I was just hanging out in a chatting voice channel. And you ended up joining, and you were just I just hung out to watch a little bit, and you asked me if you wanted to queue. I don't know if you remember that, but I think you still had the GC1 role, and I was like in Champ 2 or something like that. So I thought I was about to get rolled, but that was how we started queuing up a little bit, and that was fun. We play a little bit here and there, and then eventually, I became a Twitch mod and moved up to be a real mod, and we do a whole bunch of stuff now. The modcast, the draft tourneys, and
Yeah.
the old season league and stuff. And Str1ker, I don't know if you recall, but there was a Wayton viewer tournament. The first time I think I encountered you was a Wayton viewer tournament, and it, of course, it was a 1v1 tournament. And I was working my way through the bracket as fast as I could. I think I'm still not great at ones, but at the time I was probably like Diamond 1. And I remember getting paired against you and just sitting in the net, that meme where the guy's staring straight up, you hitting triple flip resets on me. And I lost, and I was like, what rank are you, bro? You're just like SSL. And I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad about losing anymore. But I don't know if you remember that game, but that stuck with me. What are some of what about you guys?
So, I think the first time I met Str1ker was in a draft, weekend draft, and I remember like we when it came to the drafts, we tried to find our best way to balance them all out because we had our people who were above the skill gap of everyone else, and I mean back then that was like and I'll list some names that people recognize on the server, but that was like Soj. Alps was like the biggest standout out of everyone.
Oh,
Everyone knew Alps was that guy. Alps was top of the list. If you were on a team with Alps, you were good. And him and another person who's I don't know if he's in the server or not, but his name is Papel Express,
dude,
and
that's who I was thinking of.
yeah, dude, Papel and Alps, those were our big two dogs. If you were on a team with them, holy, you guys were going to the end. And I mean, of course, they wouldn't win every single time because stuff happens, but those were like the big two dogs, like you know. But I remember, I think the first time I like actually like full on um met Str1ker and really like played with him was I think we were in a team together. We ended up getting paired together in one of the teams, and at that time we weren't really that great. That was back in 2017, 2018. I think I was like maybe like mid diamond. And I don't remember. I think Str1ker, you were like plat-ish around that time.
Yeah.
I know around that time you were at the lower curve, which is kind of crazy to think now that you're kind of at like the higher curves compared to like the rest of us. How you kind of just like we're like at that lower end and just kind of jumped all the way up to SSL, and now now you're just kind of looking down at us like, yeah, I made it, I'm up here. Um, but yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. And I remember meeting you for this time, and I always thought you were a chill person, so it was kind of cool to like really get to play with you on that same team like that. And I don't remember who our third was. I think it was someone else I met for the first time that time, but I don't remember exactly who it was. Um, Again, that was so long ago, I don't really
Yeah,
remember,
it was
but
so long ago.
um, it was kind of like the start of it, and I guess it's been pretty cool since then. We talk here and there, and yeah, I mean that's kind of how that's kind of how it all started. I don't know if you have a different perspective about it.
Um, yeah, well, for you, Reb, I feel like definitely, yeah, same thing, draft, Lost League, all of that. And I remember like going into your streams too, and we'd just chat. And I remember became a mod for you too, and that was pretty fun. Um,
Back then when I grinded that shit.
oh yeah, I remember I would just be chilling in your stream. You'd be doing the hoops.
Oh, the ring shit. Oh my god,
Yes,
that's
the
a
rings. Yeah,
throwback. Holy shit.
I would just be chilling, just watching. Like, damn.
Yeah, I did that Letterman shit, bro. And you were
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then
that's a long time ago. Holy.
yeah, for McFizz, I just remember like just seeing you in like the chat, seeing you in the server like all the time, and um, I don't know the exact first time I like talked to you. I'm pretty sure like we probably chatted beforehand, and then I remember like coaching you one night too, and that
Oh
was kind of our
yeah.
first time like really like talking. I feel like
I was asking for help with ones. Yeah, you gave me some. I think I even still have those notes in my desk somewhere.
I
I
got them
remember that.
somewhere. I got them somewhere.
Yeah, that was good. That's cool. I get the active community member accolade there. You saw me chatting in Twitch and Discord. That's cool. But yeah, I didn't like forget that you coached me there. Every time I think about ones, I still think like, fuck, I should ask Str1ker some questions. But um, I do remember that. Yeah, that was really fun. I still got those notes in my desk. I still use them. I need to go back and reread them, but I'd have them still. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it this is Rocket League is just one of those games, and I mean like it kind of surrounds the like Twitch community in a way, but I don't know if I really said this in the or if I really like what's the word um explained it is good in the podcast, but this community it has its downsides. Of course, there's always the toxic people, but almost every community has that. But it's really cool to me how you can just one day sit down, play this game, and just randomly meet someone, and now you're just playing and talking to all these many different people, and you're just meeting different people overall, making new friends, and just having a good time with people you don't even talk to in real life. This is just like all online interactions, but for a majority of people out there, and I think I speak for a good amount of people, like myself. These online interactions are like a big part of our daily lives, because it's really how we interact with either online friends or IRL friends, and we just sit down, have a good time, play some games, you know, chat about life, just do different stuff. And it's mainly like a game like Rocket League. You really like just sit down and really play with people, and it's super cool how these interactions happen to me. For
Yeah,
me.
and you do have some like crazy conversations, like just like playing Rocket League. You'll be in a ranked game and just be talking about like the craziest stuff, and I really like that aspect of it too.
Yeah, bro, it's always those midnight chats, bro. they
Yeah.
hit they hit different. They hit different for sure.
Heck yeah. Well, so we heard a lot about kind of early days, you know, but I think there's one thing I'm still really interested in to hear a little bit more about is what your climb to SSL was like, Strike. I think you mentioned obviously around COVID you got more into the game, and I'm sure that gave you the time to grind. But I guess like would be interesting to know from someone who is still kind of hovering around the high champ low GC area. What was that like when you started ranking up and getting up there? And then of course when you got SSL for the first time, what was all
Mhm.
that like?
Well, what was like the super long season, like the last season of Rocket League, like the before it went free to play, was it 14?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So I think it was like around then, or maybe the end of 13. But I feel like the first time I hit Grand Champ was 14. Um, because I finally just started playing more because COVID happened, and just like I grinded and grinded, got like all them hours in, and then started playing a lot of ones. I don't know how. Like looking back on it, I don't know how I played as much as I did. I definitely can't do that anymore. Um,
Definitely. Mostly with school and shit.
yeah, definitely can't. Um, it's like that's basically like what I did. Like I didn't really like do any special like training or anything. I just put the time in. I don't remember like my exact hours, but I wasn't really going into like the 100 hours past two range or anything still, but I feel like it was just more quality hours over quantity.
Okay.
Where did you start on PC, or did you ever play on a console and then move to
Uh,
Steam?
yeah, I started on a PC whenever like my friends, like I'm at my friend's house or whatever, and they're playing Rocket League and I hop on the PS4. I'm like, how do you do this? Like it is
Real.
terrible.
Yeah.
Real.
It is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah,
Um,
that's real as fuck.
so I took a peek at your Steam profile. I think you have like 2,700 hours in Rocket League. Is that all of your time, or do you have it on
Nah,
other
that
platforms?
is. I have a good chunk on my Epic of that the same account, just because I know for a while I wasn't playing on Steam because I was getting like bad frames. Like something was going on Steam Rocket League where it's just like kind of unplayable. And then I also have I guess I could try to look. I have a lot of hours on my Smurf because
True.
my brother, but all three of my brothers play Rocket League, and whenever they want to play, I'm just like, all right, let's do it, and we'll run it up. And I have gotten like pretty high on my Smurf with like my brothers before. I've gotten into like the 1500, like 1600, almost 1600 range.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
That's
Well, dang.
crazy.
Did you ever? And so I guess like on your journey right through ones in SSL, did you ever feel like you got stuck anywhere, or really just putting in the time and grinding was what
uh,
all you needed?
yeah, I definitely felt like I got stuck. Like I think the GC3 range, like just like trying to get to SSL with it being so close, it was really difficult. But I just kept on grinding, like even like you like two steps forward, one step back type of thing. Um yeah, and I remember some of the people I was playing when I was really like grinding to get SSL, and like they stuck with it more than I did, since I've kind of been MIA, and like some of
Mhm.
them, or at least definitely this one guy, uh his name is like Cosmic or S5 Cosmic or whatever, and got a Twitch notification from like Fear or whatever, and he was playing apparently Jack in a 1v1 show match, and I was like,
Oh wow.
I used to beat this guy like 2 years ago.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, do you think like the community aspect is valuable, or when you get that high up in ones, is it just something that happens? Like I know when I watch videos, with the pros like Reddles or Leth or whatever on YouTube, and they're just playing ranked, and you bump into the same guys over and over again. There's not that many people in the queue, and so of course you get to know some players better. Do you feel like that aspect of community, like, oh, I know this guy's having a bad day, this guy's really popping off today, do you ever like talk to them outside of the game and be like, hey, did you ever like meet new people really and like connect with them,
Yeah,
or are these just guys you play with?
I've I haven't made like any new like friends, I guess, in like the past 2 years on Rocket League or so. But when I was grinding the game, I did get two people that I really like vibed with, and we would just play, and we still like every once in a while we'll still like hit up the group chat we have and we'll run it. It's just, we're all the same rank, but we all also stopped playing the game kind of, so we're just like a bunch of washed players at like a pretty decently high rank, and we'll run threes and have a good time. And I remember like when we still were all playing, we'd play in tournaments, and like that like competing aspect with just like some friends you met in ranked, it's just really fun, and it's great to have.
That's so cool. So I guess my last point on the whole SSL arc, and we'll move on to other things, would be probably for in general the audience, right? You've climbed higher in the rank ladder than most people will ever get realistically. What would be your advice for them? from
Um,
your experience?
my advice would be just to don't play like to what you're limited to. Like if you think you can't go for something, like you just don't go for it. Instead, like still go for it, and like you get more learning experience out of that, and like just not kind of like just never giving up, but just
We're
keep
back
on
down over
trying.
what?
Keep on trying. Like how do I put this? Just play your best game, and eventually when you put in the hours, like you'll get there. You
like
will.
like limit testing, like always try to be the play the best you can.
Yeah, don't get into like some habits where, oh, I'm not going to go for this because I can't get it. Like I'm not going to go for a double because I know I'm not going to hit it. Like even if it's some like stupid angle, stupid shot, like I still love going for those because eventually you're going to hit it at some point.
Real.
That's when you'll know you made it. You'll say thanks, Str1ker.
That's kind of like it's kind of like the a similar mentality I kind of like grown accustomed to now, because um when I was around that like low champ area, I was a little bitch, just to say the least. I didn't really go for those crazy shots. I would just go for something that's more safe, that's gonna guarantee a goal. But as I went up in rank, I realized that I need to stop playing like that and just take a risk when the chance is there. Because just like you said, you never know if you score it or not. You never know what's gonna happen, and you might hit that crazy shot, that crazy angle, or the flip reset or something. You never know, and it really does like help you improve. Because you get used to, from what I noticed, you get used to being put in that situation more and more as you do it, and you figure out how you should rotate your car, how you should use your boost, etc.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I'll tell you, I'm playing in a league with Reb right now,
Ooh.
and talking about double taps a little while ago. This guy's a double tap merchant. I see him go up. To hear that he was ever like that, where he wouldn't go for things like that, I think is crazy. Because every time Reb goes up for a double tap, I think it's like a 75% chance he's sinking. So just keep going for it. You'll get there.
Real, real. But moving on from this type of topic, I wanna, and I guess this kind of goes hand in hand with the whole like Lost Prodigy and all that. But what is your experience like overall being a Twitch mod for Wayton?
It's been fun. I mean, at least when he streamed more,
Yeah.
it was it was cool because I remember I went MIA like for like maybe a year or two, and then I came back and then kind of went came back into the community, and that's when I became a Twitch mod too, and then Wayton would stream like quite often, so I just remember like going in there and kind of give me something to do, and I loved like the community on it, and everybody just knew each other, and it was really nice.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of like a similar like story with me, because some of the originals that know, mainly more on the mod team, they know that this server that he had beforehand was a tournament server. It was kind of like the continuation of the Lost League.
Mhm.
He was trying to make this kind of like drafts, like the monthly drafts again. He was trying to bring that back, because Prod decided not to no longer do them. Way and just wanted to kind of bring them back, so they were still kind of there. And then over time, he kind of just transformed it to his own thing as YouTube started growing. But I remember back then I used to hold admin power. I used to be an admin back in the days, but I kind of went MIA after he started getting bigger on YouTube. I would still talk to him, of course, because he was still my friend, but I wasn't really active on the Discord side of things. So it kind of just he kind of decided, you know what, you're not really doing anything. You're not really contributing to the team anymore.
Demotion.
Um, you're getting demoted, so that's how I got demoted back down to the real ones role. I didn't even get, I didn't even get a warning, bro. Come on now, but kind of got demoted to the real ones role, and then after some time, um, I decided, well, I didn't really decide. I kind of asked him if he still needed some help on the, in the modding side of the team. I was gonna be kind of like more so dedicated to helping out as much as I can. And luckily around that time they were doing mod interviews, which I didn't even know about, but they were doing mod interviews at that time, and they were like, yeah, I mean, you've already had power before. We know you, of course, for a long time, so just join up. And it's funny because I was kind of like an interviewer in those mod interviews, even though I was a mod for like maybe a couple of days beforehand. So it was kind of funny how
I-
that all just unraveled. So it-
I'm pretty sure you were an interviewer for mine too. I don't remember how it went or anything, but I remember I did have to do an interview to be a
yeah,
Twitch mod.
yeah, it was
That's
around
funny.
that time.
I didn't have to do an interview. I remember Peyton just DM'd me and was like, "Yo, you want to be a Twitch mod?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." And that was that. So I didn't know they did interviews for Twitch mods.
Yeah, we did an interview like the very first time they did those interviews. Um, we were looking for Discord mods and Twitch mods, and of course the Discord mods will kind of go and correlate with also being a Twitch mod. But we were looking for both, and um, we really just like kind of narrowed it down, and then you have the mods that we have now, like Mobags and Yucks, and you know uh names that we won't really bring up, like Mason. But
Bringing some up.
for some of the for some of the OGs that for some of the OGs that remember him. But uh and then you have like the Twitch mods, like we brought on Alps, Str1ker, and Toby, um who we were like, they'll help out more on the Twitch side of things instead of the Discord. They won't be as active, but they'll be there. And that's how we brought them onto the team. But for you, it was kind of like a special case because Toxic, as we both know very well, um, he one day just we were I don't I think it was a mod night that we were all in. He just brought your name up and he was like, dude, this McFizz guy, we got to get him on the team. So we all had a discussion about it one night. I think that mod night, like almost at the end of it, we had that discussion, and we were like, yeah, he seems like he'd be good for the team. Let's bring him on. He's super active. He's bringing great ideas for the server. So it was kind of just like, okay, we all agree, just bring him on. I mean, we weren't really looking for mods at the time, but you were just a great candidate for it. So they were just like, all right, bring him on.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I'm remiss. A lot of the things I wanted to do, I mean, we know you work on them with me. A lot of them, Reb. We still have to figure some things out, and it's a challenge, especially as we've gotten older, and we got to work and do shit. It definitely slows us down. But I'm glad that I'm glad that Toxic kind of advocated for me, and I got to be in this position because I think it made things a lot easier to work with the community. And I mean, I'm still here. I love hanging out with everybody. I've made some great friends. All my friends are kind of blending together. I mean, now, no, Reb, you already met my boys Kevin and all them.
Go to
So
guys. Love
yeah,
those
it's a
guys.
it's a good time. I always love hanging out with everybody, and I still think that this community is one of the most fun communities I've been a part of. So even if people got stuff to do, life goes on, but we're always here for you.
Yeah, of
But
course, dude.
and speaking of that stuff, some of the ideas I think that you alluded to when Toxic made that comment that I was bringing to the table was for one, that league, right? I really wanted to give that a try, and they really let me do it. Um, and I wanted to talk to pick your brain, Str1ker, about that experience
Mhm.
because I know you played in it, and you were one of the higher ranked players. We tried to keep it as balanced as we could, and all of that. I think we broke it up, but I think a lot of people, even after Reb and I brought back the monthly draft tournaments, a lot
Yeah.
of people still comment about that league that they want something like that brought back. And we have our own thoughts about what we want to do and what our challenges are. But from your perspective, I guess I wanted to touch on that with you. What did you like about it? Did you make any fun memories there? And if you would see it come back, what would you like it to look like?
Yeah, the thing with leagues are just so hard to do with everybody's, like schedules.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's always gonna be hard, like rescheduling, seeing when everybody's free. But I love the fact of just like doing something for, a few weeks or a few months and like all of it going like to one result. You know what I'm saying? Like I just I love just playing in leagues, and like having one in like a community makes it like so much better because like everybody you're playing against.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's kind of like the Lost League, for example, where we had that. I
Yeah.
mean, we all knew each other at certain points. Besides when sometimes some weekends, some randos would join, but for the most part, everyone knew each other, and that's kind of what brought in the excitement of it because you're playing against or with friends, and it kind of just like it was a lot of like friendly competition that really just brought everything together, and it was definitely great. It was a good time. And that's kind
Yeah,
of like the similar feeling uh, that we wanted to bring with the draft tournaments,
Mhm.
and what we're trying to do again with the league.
yeah. I remember casting some of the championship matches for both those divisions when we did that first season, and I thought it was a blast. It was everybody had been working on it, working towards that point for so long, winning matches, playing together. Everyone on the pitch, I think, had a great time, and casting it was a ton of fun. And I think, like you said, really is probably the biggest challenge. Str1ker is people have different schedules, especially with a game like Rocket League. A lot of the people in the community span a pretty wide age range. I mean, I'm turning 20.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, I'm turning 26 in a couple of weeks, and I'm pretty sure some of the guys in the server are like more than 10 years younger than me, which makes me feel super old to say. That sentence coming out of my mouth is wild. Um, but completely different. Yeah, completely different stages of life here, and that means that sometimes people are going to be on when I'm not, and I'm going to be on when they're not. And how are you supposed to get dozens of people together to play at a regular schedule for an extended amount of time? It's really tough. But I had a blast doing it, and that was exactly why I wanted to do this, was because I wanted to meet more people, because I wanted to get better. I wanted to work on teamwork and communicating and just have a good time, not having to worry about like whatever the obnoxious ranked experience can be. I don't know what it's like above like 1500, but where I live at the fun and fresh 1300 champ 3 level, it's kind of annoying. And it's way more fun to hop on stress-free private match, play with your friends. You can play really well, and if you lose it doesn't matter, and it's not a big deal. You have a great time. You get to play with the same people. You can meet new people. um that was kind of the whole heart and soul of it. And uh I think, like Reb said, we're trying to bring it back, and we did do the the draft tournaments that I think a lot of people participated in for a
Yeah, I
while. But
love those draft tourneys.
I want to find a way to bring them back too. I think we stopped just because it was there seemed to be a dwindling interest. We'll probably bring it back at some point, give it a pause and have people want to play in it again. you know, when
Yeah.
it when it's always going on, people go, "Oh, I'll play in the next one," and then we don't get people. But um yeah, I think we really do want to try to bring some of that back, and we had some plans to talk more about that even this weekend.
Wink, wink,
um
nudge, nudge.
yeah, yeah. So, hopefully it would be really cool. I'm not sure what your schedule's like. I know you're going to be busy, whether it's a draft tournament or you want to try in another league or something, but
Hmm.
or just give advice or whatever from your experiences. Obviously, you've played in a little bit more serious tournaments before, just because of your skill and the connections that you made playing Rocket League. Um, but one way or the other, we would love to see you around more for that stuff. And if you have ideas, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome. I am in a league right now too, because I'm like kind of playing for my school a little bit. Like
Ooh.
I'm on probably like 8 hours past 2 weeks, but still making it work. Um,
Holy shit.
yeah, but leagues, the thing about them that makes them just so nice is it gives you kind of the inspiration, like motivation to just grind the game. Because when you know that like the better you get, it's actually gonna like reward you by winning the league or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think from the league that Reb and I are in now, we're coming close to the end. We've only got like 2 more weeks before it's over.
Hmm.
And I think we did a really great job of how we handled it. We took it seriously. I think we grew a lot. We still had a ton of fun. Everybody involved, I think, got better one way or the other. And from doing that, I would love to take what we learned there about how to run a good program and what type of experience we want people to have, and bring that over here to the Wayton community and try and share that with more people. Because I feel like a lot of people, like, there's two types of people, right? The people who are actually going to go out and look for these leagues and tournaments, and then the majority who are just looking to have fun and play the game, right? Or they want to get better, but for whatever reason they don't have the time or the hours, or they're not good enough. I think it's hard to find tournaments that people will take seriously if you're diamond or low champ. And so try and find a way to kind of get that exposure out there and encourage people to play more and work together more. And I think it would just be a fun experience.
I feel like it could be good, like, way to kind of make sure that people aren't gonna like dwindle out or anything. I feel like having like a small buy-in to like a tournament and like the prize pool being like pretty like rewarding would be like a pretty good way to um make sure people, like, they stay consistent because they're buying into it, and they're also pretty motivated to get the
Yeah.
grand prize.
Yeah, I've thought about that too. Definitely some sort of way for people to have skin in the game will kind of convince them, like, hey, I spent money on this, or I put something else in on this, or whatever. Definitely want to try and get that back, or win more. I also bowl in a bowling league. It's one of my personal things that I do, and,
Ooh.
and that's how it works there. I pay every week I go, and it's actually kind of an expensive league, but it's like 8 or 10 months long. And depending on how well you do, you get a buyout. You get money back from the pool, right? So if you bowl well, if your team ends up high up enough, you can actually walk away with more money than you paid.
Yeah.
Right. And just to be on the league, I have a non-trivial fee to pay, right? Like, I go every single week, and it's 8 months long, and I pay like $20 a week.
Holy shit.
So there's a lot of money. Yeah, but there's lots of people on.
Yeah.
And yeah, more often than not, as long as you're not one of the last teams, you're going to make most of that money back. So it keeps you around because you've already put a ton of cash into it. And then it's nice when the league ends, even if you don't win it all, you still get your winnings back. And you have a great time. You meet people. It gets me out of the house. There's lots of other reasons why I do it.
Yeah.
And that league, again, is particularly expensive, but that's the one that my friends do and whatever. And something like that, to bring that over here and find some sort of reward that would be good for people, whether it's like, something more Discord related, or if it's Rocket League related, or just like, I feel like with the members we have in our community, doing like money would be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But you could do money as a buy-in. I don't know if that would work well, but then take that money and put it into some sort of item or prize, like Discord Nitro, or some in-game item or something. I think would be really good to keep people around. You never know though, because the league Reb and I are in has a cash prize, and it has no buy-in. You play for free and you can win money, and people are still like just disappearing.
Yeah, like
we had yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So we had a match yesterday, right? Yes, yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah,
we had a match yesterday, and
against like one of the top teams. Like, they were in a position where they were going to win money if things stayed the same.
Yeah, and they just no showed. So we got a technical forfeit. We did just no showed, so we ended up getting that win, which kind of sucks because, well, I mean, sure, they're a top team and all. We could have lost that game, but we wanted to play against them because we've just spent this whole time like practicing together, putting the time and effort into it. So we kind of wanted to see, like, compared to a higher level team than us, how do we play against them? How do we fare against them? Is it close games?
Yeah.
What do we improve on? Sort of thing. Finishing this league.
Yeah, those games are our opportunity to take what we've been learning in our practice sessions and put to the test, and then go back and see what went well and what we need to keep working on, right? So when people don't show up, that's a bummer for us. And that's a big reason why we started this league. We didn't do it really for the money. We did it because we thought it would be fun and we would all get better. And we have, and it has been fun. But there's lots of reasons why, like, I don't know why a team like that, who's in a position to actually win money, just wouldn't show up and play their matches. Like, they were like a 1700 1800 level team. They were good. The whole team was really good. I don't know why they didn't show up. So it's definitely not a perfect equation. But we are thinking about things like that. And I think, like you said, that is definitely the way to go to try and find a way to make it so that people who are participating like want to stick around. And another thing I thought about would be some sort of I guess like a preseason or like some sort of requirement that players have to meet in order to participate in the league. And that requirement would mostly be activity based, not necessarily skill based. So hey, you show up to, the past every draft tourney we've done, you've been here, which means you're available. So we'll do this or that, just so we
Yeah.
get a feel for when people apply, we know that they're serious, they're actually available, and that's, I think, going to give us the best pool of participants to
Mm-hmm.
have a league that we can do more long term team based roster based stuff rather than draft league. So
Yeah, I like that idea.
yeah, I think it would be really cool. And I think we're all of us on the team that works on that stuff is still super excited about it. So if we make more progress there, I'll definitely hit you up. We would love to see you around some more. Even just to stop by and root for your favorite team or whatever.
I could come in and cast.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a Str1ker as a caster. Okay. Yes,
I do
sir.
want to do that more. That was one of my favorite things too, is hopping on Twitch and getting all the people in the server into the Twitch chat to root for their teams. Like, was such a great time.
Mhm.
Not only was it fun to be a player, but it was so much fun to cast and to watch the teams play, which is, I think, another element that, just any regular league maybe doesn't have, because people come from all different communities to participate in those leagues. Sometimes that's not the case, obviously, with Lost League, right? And what we did previously, there are communities built around it, but right, want to leverage that community, and it would make it so much more fun.
Of course. But kind of like keeping the same topic of like Rocket League gameplay and like Rocket League related stuff. Um what do you think of like the current state of Rocket League, and what do you possibly think could be like happening in the future?
Current state of Rocket League is honest. Like, I think it's pretty good at the moment. I mean, at least esports wise, like casually, there's never been too big of a Rocket League type of audience, I guess.
Mm.
I feel like most of it's just in esports. And I mean, that's cool and all, but I feel like if you want to like move Rocket League to like a tier 1 esport, I feel like you kind of need to have like a good casual fan base too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a huge boom in that, obviously, when the game went free to play. And one of the big reasons that I'm even in this server in the first place was because I went to YouTube to look for tutorials and consume content to just widen my exposure. And it seems like there's not as much of that coming out. And the good content that is coming out, you said, is very esports focused. So of course, with every season and anytime anything changes with Rocket League, everyone complains, and then there's the "why no Unreal Engine 5" argument that comes up every
Real.
single time, right? But I guess I think all of us have been playing Rocket League for a while now, and I'm wondering, because I didn't play very regularly until free to play. I've had my account since 2016, and I've played since 2016, but it's always been very on and off. When free to play hit, that's when I hit the grind. Um, and I'm wondering, what do you think, Str1ker, given your past experience for how long you've been playing the game? Do you think the community is better, worse, or the same in general from a casual like player perspective than it was? Um, thinking back to before free to play, when the rewards would come out or what the community would say, what was going on. I'm curious what you think about, where we are now, and are you nostalgic for the old days? Are you realistically like, yeah, it's kind of the same. Everyone's a little bit nostalgic, but are things better, worse, different? What do you think direction we're heading in?
Yeah, I always am nostalgic about like the old like first like playing the game days when I had camera shake on and I wouldn't use ball cam.
Real, dude. Holy.
And like I always like get this like one picture like in my head of like an Octane, with like the red like almost like Disney ear little thing. I think it's called like Dead Mouse or something. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
Oh
the dead
yeah,
That
mouse.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
topper, like I always just think of that because that's what me and my teammate used to rock. And yeah, back then I feel like I feel like the community, it was definitely a lot smaller. Like, it was way smaller. Like, less people even, like, heard about the game, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's stupid. It's soccer with cars." Like, but, it was the community was also, like, a lot more wholesome, you know? And nowadays, like, it is bigger, like and even from a casual standpoint, like, people like, everybody kinda knows what Rocket League is, and most people have tried it out, and, like, it is also, like, the problem with it is it's so hard to get into because it's just different from anything else, like, no skill transfers over. So, um, that's kinda why, like, I feel like the player base never gets to the levels of, like, like CS:GO or any game like that, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think the Rocket League, if you don't count Start BC, is kind of the first of its kind. Um, right. So I guess what I don't know if there's any ideas I've had on how to make the game more approachable to new players. Because it seems like it really is hit or miss. This is a big reason why a lot of my closest friends didn't get into it, and why it took me so long to really get into it, because I normally only played with them. And it's so strange that you don't really like it until you start to get a real sense of control over your car and agency in the matches. The chaos is kind of fun, but it wears out after a while
Mhm.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess like I feel like it's like a coin toss for most new players, whether they're gonna love the game or just be like, it's weird. I don't like it. It
Exactly.
was fun, but it never gripped me. And I don't really know what there is that they could do to change that. I like the idea of extra modes. I think that they're a lot of fun. It seems like a lot more casual players play extra modes a lot more. I
Yeah.
hardly ever play them, but maybe there's some value there, and like with the workshop maps that are out there. And I still think Knockout was a great mode that Psyonix put out.
That's like the
Hope to see
best
more
mode.
stuff like that.
That's
Yeah.
the best mode they put out, honestly.
If they put a
Mhm.
ranked knockout in the playlist, I think that would change. I think that would change the game meta. Like, people would get so good at like
Bumping and
weird
demoing
stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
recoveries, like weird stuff. People would get great at it. Get SSL and like knockout, right? What a title would look like. You'd go in your ranked games, it'd be like, I don't even know what you would call that.
Professional demoer. I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, and I guess I I can't really comment much on your points about the community back in the day. I always had fun, and now I play with my text chat off because it just doesn't seem like there's a point where I am. If I ever got higher ranked, and I think it would be fine. But I'm not outside. My community for Rocket League is outside of the game. I don't really find new people in the game anymore, which is kind
Yeah.
of a bummer. And I've heard comments, of course, going back to when they added the fixed voice chat. If voice chat had worked from the beginning of the game, I feel like that would have changed the community so much more. Um, Kind of like CS, where you have to talk to your teammates really a lot of times if you want to win. Maybe if you're low elo, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But right, that expectation of like you're gonna go into a match and people are gonna talk to you and they're gonna expect you to talk back to them. That's just not in Rocket League, and then you just get the okay quick chats all the time.
Yeah.
The
And yeah,
The
wows.
best.
Okay,
if
and the wows are always
We
top tier.
yeah, the
Whoosh.
whew,
Yeah.
yeah. So like if some things were a little bit different earlier on, what would the game be like? Who knows? And like you said, the skill gap is the learning curve is so steep, right? That even though Reb and I are pretty decent at the game in terms of the average player,
Yeah, it's still in, like, the
compared
top
to
1% or
yeah,
something like
yeah. And compared to like you, when you were peaking, we couldn't hold the candle, right? And then there's pros, and so there it just keeps getting so high up the the I guess the skill curve
Yeah.
that I feel like a lot of people this season in particular have been really complaining about the quality of their ranked matches. I guess ever since Psyonix did that little soft reset thing, um, and it seems like everybody that's higher than, I don't know, champ 1 or 2 has an alt account, and they play on it with their friends. And do you think that the smurfing thing is really a problem? I mean, you're pretty high elo. I don't really think you run into too many smurfs, but do you think that that's something that the community is justified to feel that way about, or do you think that's something that is just like, yeah, there've always been people who've been playing on alt accounts that are better than that, or they're just mad because it's a frustrating game? What's your thought there?
I think it's completely justified, to be honest. Like, I don't have to deal with it, but I know definitely like in like the mid champ ranks, it's like a huge problem because I mean, it's the fact that it's free to play, anybody can make an account, just makes it just so much easier to Smurf now than it ever did. So like when I was mid champ, that wasn't like a thing. Like you'd run into a Smurf here or there, but
Yeah, you had to
it
buy the
wouldn't be
game.
like a problem you'd face every day or even every week. Like it'd just be like an occasion, you know.
A lot of people have called for like just account verification, right? Like you have to have a phone number or something, which I think is justified. And I think even I don't remember what it is exactly for CS because
It's
my account's
Prime.
so old.
It's a
But
Prime account.
it's is it
So
Yeah.
you?
yeah,
Is it
so for
only
CS,
Prime, or do you have to get to a certain
no,
rank if you
it's
don't
It's
Prime.
have Prime?
It's
they
only
yeah,
Prime. So
I hate that part.
yeah, so for CS, if you back then, if you bought the game when it was purchasable and not free to play, you would automatically get a Prime account when the free to play dropped. But I think it's like what, $15 I think for Prime on that game. But
Yeah.
you get that like kind of like certification badge, and I think you do have to confirm like a phone number now. Um, but I don't know. It's been a while since I was kind of like since I played before CS
Yeah,
dropped to free to play, but you know, you kind of get this like Prime status, and you only match against people with that Prime status. So you're not going against these people
got the game
who just got the
yesterday.
game and are smurfing. I mean, sure, you do run across it sometimes, kind of like the same thing with like old Rocket League. You do run across it sometimes because there's people who bought the game back then and are just playing on their Smurf account again. But because there's a paywall, it kind of stops people from just making another account and just queuing against these lower ranked people, and it kind of gives the a more like fair it's kind of like more fair gameplay because you're actually matching against people who you're supposed to be matching against, and not these Smurfs who are just like top like 5% in the game.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like oh man, my brain just blanked when I tried to talk.
Okay.
Has that ever happened to you
Yeah, that
guys?
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
you've got
was
that
happening to
thought
me
and you're
there.
just like, oh, it's gone. Oh yeah. So again, it's kind of like I missed out on this. I remember I played the game when they had the solo standard playlist and things like that, and
Ooh.
I feel like bringing back solo standard would be really cool. And a lot of people now, which I think is really funny, are calling for a hard rank reset, like when they
Mhm.
did that for season 3, which was a disaster and everyone hated it, and they promised they'd never do it again, right? So, but they did do a soft reset like 3 seasons ago. But it seems like all these things that when the game was younger, they took out for one reason or another, people are calling for again. And it seems like it's just efforts to kind of filter through. People are so convinced that in their ranked matches, the players they get matched with are either Smurfs against them or people who got carried by Smurfs and now they don't know how to play. And it's wild. I feel like that tends to be the case, like you said, Str1ker, all the way about through champ, because if you're a good player, it's pretty easy to get into champ, but obviously it takes a lot of people a lot of time to get out of champ. And so those people who have made it, that's always where they play because that's when what people are trying to get out of. Everyone wants the GC tag. I mean, I'm playing with a
Real.
guy who's, 1200 MMR and he has GC rewards for the past few seasons, and like I gotta wonder
Calling
if
me
this
out like
dude,
that, bro? What the fuck, man?
man, you're relaxed. But I would love to see some changes. Like, I would love a solo standard playlist. I think that'd be great because I used to always solo queue, and then you get the two who play it like it's twos, and they leave you to die, and then they yell at you when you lose because they don't play with you, um, or whatever. But I feel like some of those older features would be cool to see in the game to bring it back for nostalgia's sake, to mix it up a little bit more. You don't have to change the meta of the game or add too many new game modes, but do a few things like that to, I guess, just give other people a sense of like, hey, there's new stuff to do, even if it's really just still ranked threes.
Yeah,
And do it as a little experiment too, right? To figure out like, okay, why would anyone Smurf in solo standard, right?
exactly.
Best case, like worst case scenario, someone's getting their account boosted and they're having someone else play on it, and you bump into them in solo standard. And that's super annoying, but you usually have to pay and then give someone access to your account for that. I feel like it's much less likely than I'm going to hop
Of
on with
course.
my buddy who's GC3 and we're going to go crush some Champ 2 lobbies.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I would love to see it.
And it's funny you mentioned like solo standard because back then when it was a mode, everyone was so hyped when they said that they were taking it out because everyone was like, dude, I don't play solo standard. Or if you do play solo standard, oh my god, solo standard is awful. The queuing is awful. You get these horrible teammates. So back then, when solo standard was a thing, everyone wanted it out. And I don't know if you remember this, Str1ker, but everyone wanted that mode out.
I do.
Everyone was like, no, solo standard is just a useless game mode, just solo Q3s. Um, you know, and it's really like annoying to queue in solo standard. And then like you see like maybe a couple seasons after free to play dropped, and everyone, mainly like the OG players, were like, bring solo standard back. Solo standard was amazing. Solo standard was such a fun game mode, and now everyone's just switching up. Like solo standard was um
It was
a-
ahead of its time.
ahead of its time, but they all wanted it gone a couple months ago. So
Sometimes I really think that like the Rocket League community is just like unsatisfiable. Like
Yeah.
no
They're just
matter
never
what you
happy.
no matter what you do, there's always going to be something wrong with it.
Yeah. I feel like what they could do is add a new, basically it's a slot for a playlist, whatever it is, and they could rotate that out every season, and they could try it, use it for data analytics. They can see how many people play it, what people say about it. It's completely optional, and it can even have a completely separate MMR. So let's say, for example, they here's your new like rotating playlist. The new season starts, boom, it's there. This season it's solo standard, and maybe you have completely fresh MMR. You start with like the default 600, and you see where you get with that. And something like that would be a great opportunity to bring voice chat back in, right? If you want to actually try with your team, you can talk with your comp. Maybe the meta will change there, or switch out something different, or you can keep your MMR and play solo standard, whatever matches your other modes. Or they can do like a hard rank reset playlist where it's like, oh, everyone's different. You can see how it goes out, and just you can keep your comfy little twos, you know, playlist. That's not going to change, but you can also still go out and do something different. That's kind of experimenting with the ranked environment and gauge how the community receives it. Might be kind of interesting.
I do think that they do need to experiment a bit more with playlists, or because it can't really hurt too much to just try to just throw in solo standard in there or something like that. Like just to see how people like it, how do people like how much do they play it, and see if it works or not.
Yeah, because Psyonix has hinted in the past for other things. Like, for example, those season reward banners that they had the dragons on them. Everyone hated them, and now no one uses the regular ones, right?
hmm
I think that it's been in the YouTubers have touched on it before that Psyonix spokespeople, whether it was Devin or whoever else, said, based off of their player user data, they can tell that no one uses those banners that they remade. So if they can tell what banner you're using in game, they can tell what playlists you play. Obviously, your rank is a result of the matches you play and things like that, and other websites are already tracking that data. So it would not be a big lift for them to just create a new playlist and say, okay, yeah, go do this, see how it works, and if we like it, maybe we'll keep it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
so like keeping on the track of like, well, I mean we were just talking about CS, but I want to like kind of step away before we kind of like wrap all this up. But I want to talk about like, is there any like type of games that you're playing right now,
Yeah, what
Str1ker?
other
Like
stuff?
anything besides like Rocket League, like anything you're bringing into? I mean, you have like CS2 that just released, and McFizz and I have been playing quite a bit of that together, and I've been playing quite a bit with some other friends. But are there any other games that besides Rocket League that you've been playing recently?
I'm gonna be like so real with you. The only game I've played in like the past month has been Rocket League, and that's been like maybe like 20 hours. Um, I mean, whenever like I know it hasn't happened recently, but I'll play some CS if all my friends are on and they invite me, and it'll be fun. Whatnot. I haven't tried CS2 actually. How do you like that?
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great game. I mean,
It's
it's
pretty much the
aesthetically
same.
very beautiful. It's it's a new engine, so it makes sense. It's gonna be different, but it's really really what's it called? It's like eye candy. It looks really good.
Mhm. Yeah, it
Um,
still feels very similar. It has differences, but it's kind of like everything. It's like a breath of fresh air. So if
mhm,
you've always enjoyed
definitely.
CS, you should try CS2.
For sure, I'll have to do that.
And if you
Maybe we could
have,
run it someday.
oh, for
Yeah.
sure, bro. And
Yeah,
like,
I feel like a lot of people who had CS:GO and didn't play it a lot now playing CS2 have been getting really good luck with opening their crates
oh, for
too.
real, bro.
Oh,
I know two people that in the past like week or two have unboxed a knife, and I myself unboxed like an Op Hyper Beast as well. So there's some nice skins being thrown out by the game. So if you're one of
okay.
those players that like you have CS and you haven't played it very much, and you do try CS2 and you got a couple bucks to spend, you might get something cool out of a crate.
Cool.
Remember, kids, don't gamble.
No gambling. No
Don't
gambling.
gamble. No gambling.
You're probably gonna get a Nova Ranger. I got about 8 of those, and they're worth nothing. So,
Don't gamble,
but
kids.
yeah,
uh,
uh,
yeah, but it's really cool to see like these new. I mean, you have some games being updated to like um newer engines. For example, CS is the biggest example, and you have these like overhauls where you're just you're playing this classic game and you're just there, and then you get this new update and it looks awesome. Like it's pretty much the same game. It just looks cooler. It's on a different engine. It plays a little differently, which is expected, but you kind of get this game that you enjoyed and you're playing it, and it looks so much better. And that's kind of what CS is. And you have some other games too. I'm pretty sure there's like some other games that are being remade. A great example of that actually is I don't know if you guys have ever played it, but Ark Survival Evolved, which supposedly we're supposed to get the new game Ark 2. Supposedly, I think everyone is speculating like the end of this month or next month because the official servers just shut down like earlier this week.
oh,
So those servers are now
wow,
down, but they're kind of like rehauling the game. They're like adding new additions to the game. It's on a new engine and all that stuff. So that's kind of like a big thing that like that community is looking forward to, and me included because I really love that game. Um, so that's something cool to think about. And there's like, these old games that are like being remade into like these new engines, and it's really cool because you get to like revisit or replay a game that you really enjoyed, um remade into this very beautiful new, I mean, similar game, really.
it's like playing it for the first time again.
Yeah, pretty much. You're getting like that nostalgia of launching it again for the first time
Hmm.
and like really going down memory lane and like reliving kind of like your first memories of that game. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think that's really all we have to talk about for now. So I do want to thank you again, Str1ker. I know you've had a very busy schedule again. You said with school starting back up um and everything. But if you have a couple things to say before we wrap it up, feel free to say them now.
I don't go really got much to say. I mean, it was fun. I really enjoyed this, and we need to run some games soon, whether
For
it's
sure, bro.
Rocket League or CS2 or
yeah,
whatever
got to set up
whatever
another
there
mod night.
is.
Real,
Dude,
bro.
we need an Among Us mod night. That would be crazy.
Actually, would be pretty cool.
I
Bro,
miss
yeah.
Among Us.
Among Us was peak, actually. I
It
mean,
was.
it
That
was it was
was
really fun. We had some really good memories on that. So
yeah,
we'll definitely have to revisit that and make a comeback for a mod night for that for sure.
for sure.
Well, cool. It was great getting back in touch with you, Str1ker. Glad you're doing well, having fun at college and all that stuff. And yeah, if you ever on and looking to hang out, just send a ping and we'll be around. It's great talking with you.
Sounds good. Great talking to you guys.
And yeah, once again, I appreciate you a lot, Str1ker, for really coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule to really sit down and talk with us. But I also want to thank everyone listening or viewing the modcast. Um, I'm trying to be as consistent as I can with this. Also having a pretty busy schedule here with work. And coming up soon, I'm going to be very busy. So I don't know when I'll push out my next episode, but I'll try to get it out as soon as I can for everyone. But again, thank you everyone. Thank you Str1ker and McFizz for sitting down and having this wonderful conversation with me. It's your host Reb signing out. I hope everyone has a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. And yeah, goodbye.
Catch y'all next time.
See ya.